What's up, guys? This is the Last Time Podcast. This time we have a guest, my boy Nathan.
Yo, what's up? What's up?
So you already know, this is gonna be for the week six. A lot of good things happened, and let's just get straight into it because we're in my garage right now at midnight, so so we just gotta get through it. But first and foremost, I want to talk about the Thursday night game quickly, like from week six, between the Broncos and the Chiefs. Obviously, it was not a good game for the Broncos. I mean, Wilson didn't even have 100 passing yards. And on the other hand, Mahomes looked, modest. He still had over 300 passing yards and just one TD, but it was still relatively a low scoring game.
Yeah, it was kind of a snooze fest, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
I mean, we all knew Kansas City was gonna win this. Um, so I mean, it's not anything I didn't really expect.
Yeah. But I will want to point out, though, that Rasheed Rice is starting to look like the wide receiver one for the Chiefs.
That's my guy.
That's your guy.
That's
Yeah. I know you
my
do.
guy.
You have a lot of shares of him in
For the
fantasy.
past 2 weeks, I've been having him. Well, mostly because had to, but I picked him up before he started kind of looking solid. So he's definitely my guy. Yeah, I kind of believe in
Yeah.
him.
I believe in Kadarius Toney, so it's
He's
a I hate my life for believing in him that much.
yeah, he just runs. He just doesn't catch the ball.
Yeah, he's a Butterfingers. He's sponsored by Butterfingers.
Butterfingers.
But we'll get into the Sunday night, the Sunday London game. Before we get into the rest of the games, the Titans and Ravens. I didn't watch that game, if I'm being honest. I was kind of sleeping, but I did check the score here and there. And my main takeaway is that Lamar looked all right still, and Zay Flowers finally got his first career TD. And I know you're a huge Zay Flowers truther, so what's your
Yes.
reaction to that?
It was definitely coming. It's definitely Mark Andrews first, and then Zay Flowers, and he's looked good all season. He
Mhm.
just hasn't really, kind of got the touchdown, and I feel like this game, he definitely probably gained that confidence, and hopefully he kind of keeps going.
Yeah, but before we get off this game, I want to mention that Tannehill got hurt. So I definitely think at this point we're looking at the Tennessee Titans being last in that division because Henry
Oof.
still went off. Henry still had 12 rushes and 97 yards. So I think at this point though we're looking at the Titans kind of spiraling down.
Yeah, it's just not pretty right now in Tennessee. I mean, you're gonna have to watch Malik Willis throw to an old D Hop.
Yeah,
it's
I
it's
believed in
just
D Hop,
bad.
man. I believed in D Hop, but I don't know. Those receivers go there to die. I mean, Andre Johnson. I think even Randy Moss went there for a bit, but for sure,
Yeah.
Andre Johnson was the most recent one.
Well, if I'm being honest, D Hop doesn't look terrible. It's just the quarterback. It's
Yeah,
it's it's he just cannot get the ball to him. He can't, make those big plays. And yeah, D Hop doesn't really look like D Hop because he's not super explosive like he usually is. But he's competent enough. But it's just the QBs. It's just
yeah.
Tannehill just didn't.
Tannehill's
Uh,
timid, but
yeah.
still, the Titans for sure on a downfall. And now we're gonna get on to the morning games, or at least on the West Coast. I'm gonna start off with the more like less appealing ones, with the Vikings and Bears, because to be honest, that was a true mid off. No Jay
Yeah.
Jettis for the Vikings, and you know it showed. I mean, Kirk Cousins only put up like what 19 points, and he had only 181 passing yards and one passing TD. Yeah, Jefferson's impact is clearly showing.
Yeah, and you can clearly see how much of an impact he made to that offense. Honestly, I thought they were going to be fine because I thought um I thought the rookie, well, Addison was going to step up, but maybe it's just not time yet, but you can just tell how much Jefferson is being missed on that offense.
But that's not even the main story. It's Justin Fields getting hurt with the thumb,
Oof.
dislocated, expected to not play week 7, and before he left, it was still not looking good for him that day. I
Yeah.
mean, he only had 10 passing attempts and 58 passing yards, one pick. So he was not having a great day. I mean, I don't know what's gonna happen with him and what's gonna happen with the Bears because it's clear that they're a bottom 6 team for sure right now. And with Fields' dislocated thumb, they're dead. Like if they lose to the Raiders at that point, it's like the season's pretty much already over. But if they lose to the Raiders, we're talking about is well, I shouldn't say if Fields plays. I doubt he's gonna play, but if he plays, is he really the answer? But we'll definitely see what happens there because that team, yeah, it's looking ugly over there in Chicago.
Not to mention the running backs, how how both of their starters kind of got hurt, and Roshan's still in the concussion protocol. I don't know if you saw that,
Yeah,
but he's still in there. So it's just, it's
yeah,
gonna be rough.
it's gonna be rough for them
Yeah.
for sure. Um, but on to the next one. Another game that wasn't super like interesting, but just kind of getting straight into that. The Saints and the Texans. I want to mention that Carr. I don't get it. Like some games he passes for over 300 passing yards, and he still just gets like one touchdown. And Olave still had a good day. 96 receiving yards, and Shaheed also had a big play, and he only had two catches, but 85 yards and one TD. But it's clear that the Saints, it's like in the red zone, they just like stall, and I don't know. They're just like probably the most mid team in the NFL right now. Like they're literally just average.
Yeah, I expected so much prior to the season, but I should have seen that this is Derek Carr basically.
Yeah,
That's how he's always been.
yeah. He let me down big time last year when he got Devontae. I was like, oh, he's definitely gonna become one of the elite QBs. He's a probably be right there with Herbert and like Burrow. Like not elite, but like elite. So that I was thinking at that type of style of play. But overall, I do want to also touch on Stroud, because he keeps on just willing the Texans to win. I mean, he still didn't do too great, but he still got the job done. He still had two passing TDs, and Dalton Schultz is starting to look good. 4 catches, 61 yards, and a passing TD. So I mean, I feel like the Texans are clearly on the come up, and I think Stroud has a high chance of becoming the Rookie of the Year.
I mean, I won't be surprised. He's been on a tear lately. And not to mention that the defense is underrated. It's kind of underrated.
Yeah, I kind of agree because allowing 13 points to any NFL team is it clearly shows that you have a good defense. And Carr still got 353 passing yards and still just 13 points. It's clear that they buckled up when it really mattered. But on to the next game, another AFC South, well, another South on South matchup. The Colts and the Jags. And if I gotta be honest, Gardner Minshew for sure just absolutely just looked horrible. One TD but three picks. He had over 300 passing yards, but that's because he threw like 55 times. And I do also want to touch though that Pittman though he was balling. 9 catches, 109 receiving yards. And before I pass it off to you, I still want to also mention that it wasn't just Fields. Lawrence also got hurt, and it's not looking good over there at all in Jacksonville. Well, actually, it's supposedly not that serious, so he might play the Thursday night game. But what's your thoughts overall on that game?
Man, that's just the theme of this week, the injuries. I mean, it sucks.
Yeah,
It really does suck. Um, yeah, it was mostly the running back show in that game. Um, the running back just kind of
ETN.
Zach Moss. I
Even
mean,
Zach Moss did
what
good
do you, what
too,
do you
huh?
think about Zach Moss? That's kind of
Uh,
crazy how he's been this good, isn't it?
yeah, I mean, I used to watch him when he in the Pac-12 in Utah. I knew he was good, but obviously he's certainly improved. Like I didn't really think of him as like, oh, he's to be elite in the NFL, but he's not elite, but he's serviceable. He's literally gonna be a legitimate uh, thorn to Jonathan Taylor. He's not gonna just absolutely get phased out. But overall though, I want to briefly also mention though that obviously this is a few days removed from the that game, and it's already been announced that Anthony Richardson is done for the season.
I'ma have it one day, one day.
Man, it just sucks because he's just looks so damn good. I mean, I honestly did not think I didn't believe I was not an Anthony Richardson truler, but you proved me wrong,
I
and
was on him.
he's good.
I was high on
He's
him,
really
but
good.